blessing on it. Too real, this ain't metaphoric. We just put the I in iconic. Buzzing like I'm electronic. Yeah, I put a blessing on it. See me dripping in it 24/7 on it. I'm just being honest. Holy water dripping from my neck to my crep. So I'm two-stepping on it like.
Welcome back to the jungle.
Welcome back to the jungle.
Yeah, right on.
Welcome
Hey,
back to the podcast.
Is it okay if I start? I know you're
Absolutely.
the host. Is it okay?
110%.
I have two things I wanted to talk about in
Okay.
the beginning. And the first one is this. Last time we spoke about not white bread.
Exactly.
And we said it was kind of testosterone laden.
No, we said it was testosterone.
Testosterone. And I haven't seen you since then.
Yeah.
And a few weeks went past, and someone posted a review on Amazon, and the person's name is Samantha, so I'm assuming it's a woman. And I don't know how many stars she gave me, but I'm sure it was really low. But I'd like to read you what she wrote.
I would
what
love
Samantha
for you
wrote.
to read me what she wrote, but I
She
have to
wrote-
tell you there's something very ironic. So my first name, obviously you guys know, is Tiffany. And my grandmother told my mom when she said she was pregnant that she was going to have a granddaughter named Tiffany Renee. And my mom was adamant. She was like, absolutely not. My grandfather's name was Samuel. And my mom wanted my name was supposed to be Samantha.
Okay.
So
Well,
let's
maybe
read
you wrote
what
this.
I did not.
Okay.
I'd have no outside alibis.
Well, this is what Samantha wrote.
All right, let's hear it.
If you like boys to men stories, this one is for you. Each chapter is laden with testosterone and coming of age stories through the decades. It comes with fighting, father-son relationships, friendships, war, love, and general life stories. And I just want to say to Samantha, if she's out there, she hit a home run. She might not have liked it, but she definitely
She hit the hot buttons.
She definitely hit a home run on reviewing that book. So, and now the second thing, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I got a Christmas card from you for Christmas, and I mean, kind of an odd way to celebrate the birth of Jesus.
Well, you know what?
And I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I'm glad that you did.
Well,
I'm glad that you are.
I was a little shocked
Okay.
because I thought you were mad at me. and then
Clearly,
I paused.
once again, we're still new in our relationship.
I paused, and then I said, "No, that's everyone got this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, please go ahead.
ironically, I was really kind of so when we did that photo shoot, it was just kind of I've been doing the photo shoots or whatever for a very long time. And it's taken me a long minute to just kind of get back into my free spirit groove. And which has kind of been happening in the last couple of years. But in that particular, and it takes for someone to feel comfortable in a photo shoot. And yes, this is just my personal opinion, but it's all about the photographer in how comfortable. I mean, there's some that can just make you feel like, oh, this is just never going to work. And you feel like you're a stiff robot and it's just not going to happen. And I have two that I really like to work with that are, we have a blast. It is fun. Nick's there. We laugh, we cut up. It's just a good old time. And this one is one particular one, and I'll just run around and I'm just doing whatever. Well, that was that picture that was there. And we were going through the photos, and that one came across, and I had showed it to the kids. And one that has been with me for a very long time, not one of my own biological children, but one that grew up with my kids. And he said, that photo is 100% everything about you in one picture. Like that is all of you in one picture. And I said, I kind of think it's Christmas card worthy. He said 110%. And of course, we always have this long ongoing joke about making it to the Christmas card list.
Should you tell your audience what was on the card? And then maybe they would understand why I'm asking.
So before I do that, we sent out over 500 Christmas cards. The majority of the ones that I sent them to were people that I know, businesses that I know. There were maybe a couple of new groups that are around and about that I thought, well, let's just kind of maybe test the waters and just see. And we discussed it a little bit. We were thinking, well, I mean, if they're not watching the podcast or if they don't know me, then they may be offended by the card. If they know everything about me and they know that I say what I'm going to say, I feel what I'm going to feel. I am a very emotional person. I joke a lot when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I was waiting for someone to come back and say, that is really not the appropriate way to celebrate Jesus. But if you notice,
did not say that. I did not say that. I did not say that. I just said that was kind of, it was, I've gotten Christmas cards over the year, but nothing like that. I mean, that was out of the box. That was off the planet.
Yeah.
And I just kind of was like, really? She really doesn't like me that much. and I was like, nah, that's probably just how she is. But I mean, I don't think, I never thought inappropriate. I mean, that was the furthest thing from my mind. I just thought it was odd. And I was just wondering where it came from. And it came from your personality, not so much about the Christmas holiday itself.
No, it didn't. It didn't. It was literally stimulated from the concept of how we always say, you may make it to the Christmas card list, or that person just really pissed me off, and you're not.
Oh, you're not on the Christmas card list. I got it.
Do you want to know how many times I've actually
you don't
mailed
care?
out Christmas cards?
I don't know how many.
Never.
So this was the first year.
First.
And I got one.
You did.
So I should frame it.
I mean, that would make me happy.
I should frame it.
So
and hang it in
and
my
I
office.
also on my holiday card list, it did not say anywhere on there, Merry Christmas. It said, wishing you guys happy holidays or something to that effect. I'll have to go back and that was a long minute ago.
I think it said on there, it said something about the birth of Jesus and how lucky we are.
Yeah. Lord, hear my prayer. No, absolutely.
Taking you're not a religious gal.
Well, I mean, religion is a very touchy subject. And yes, I am to a certain extent.
That's all right.
But obviously you can see that my religion comes with sass.
How do you think you got here?
Didn't we already talk about that?
No, we didn't. But we don't have to. We don't have to. But go ahead. So, but anyway, you're going to tell everybody what was on the card?
So on the Christmas card list, and on the card that was sent out, it is a picture of me sitting on a red velvet, old vintage antique sofa.
But it's in black and white.
It is. And yes, and I am in did I have my velvet jacket on? Or I mean my furry jacket on? Or did I just have my white shirt on? I don't know. Anyways, I am shooting both birds, up in the air. And yeah, so
yeah, I opened up the envelope and got slapped in the face with that. Next time, if I ever see you again, I will, and I know I'm going to see you, I'll bring it and have you autograph it for me. I would appreciate that.
Well, okay. Well, look at that. It's not very often that I am speechless, but that is all right.
Right on.
That's very sweet.
And then I'll frame it.
Okay. But yeah, it was fun. I got, I cannot tell you how many times during the day, because we sent them off in sections.
You got one in an envelope. That was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. So
Classy.
there was envelopes,
Classy.
and then there was just postcards.
Okay.
So you got the envelope.
Well, thank you for the envelope.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate the Christmas card too. It was unexpected. I was out of
Thank
town.
you.
I was out of town. I got back after Christmas.
Yeah.
And then, and got to it. So
It was fun. I tell you, when they did start hitting everybody's the addresses, or when people did get a hold of them, from our friends in Nashville to our friends all over Texas to some people that I haven't seen and talked to in a minute, was just like, this is the best thing we have ever freaking seen. This is so you. Yeah. We are glad you're back.
Thank you for thinking of
yeah,
thinking of me.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you. Flattering.
Thank you for accepting it and understanding that it had nothing to do with.
I just initially,
it was just
it's okay. Just initially, I was like, really?
And that was the conversation. I thought, man, this is either going to go over very, very well, or this is going to completely bite me in the ass, and people are going to
it's
say.
I mean, I thought about it. It took a
people are
couple
gonna say,
minutes,
like,
and I was
wow.
like, no,
No.
that's just the way she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, but anyway,
Yeah.
thank you again, and I appreciate you thinking of me for the
Absolutely.
holidays. And again, next time I see you, I'll have to.
Yeah.
I'll bring it. And you can autograph
I
it
would be
for me.
honored.
Yeah.
Thank you very,
I
very
would
much.
be honored.
That's
I would be
very
honored.
sweet.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so where are we going?
So we talked about you're an author of 3 books amongst a bajillion different other things, but we talked about your first book
Yeah.
on the last episode. And today we want to talk about your second book.
Yeah.
And you'll see it right here on the front. I have the hard copy,
Yeah.
but this is From Love to War.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the inspiration here.
I'll be honest with you. First of all, I'm going to start with this. When I wrote this book, I mean, it was really emotional for me, like really, really emotional. And a lot of those stories in there just, I think, were in me for a long period of time. And took kind of a while to break them loose. So, I'm not a kind of guy that cries, man, but I tell you, I spent a lot of time weeping over the friggin' keyboard, hammering out those stories. But I mean, in retrospect, if you look at authors, if you look at books, a lot of people write about love and war, right? It's not uncommon. And I just had stories. And the first part is about relationships. The second part, I just kind of a hodgepodge. I put a lot of different stories in there that really didn't fit in either category, but I thought it would be a nice kind of break. And then the last bit is, the war piece. And the first book I used an alias Kevin Dugan, and in the front piece of that book, I mentioned, if you see Kevin Dugan, that's me. And I use my name, I use that name, that alias, in a lot of the stories in that book because they personally happened to me. And the dedication is into the front of some individual that died in the war.
Yeah.
And what else? It's and the front part, the love part is not, flowers and chocolate. I think it's more realistic on relationships if you go through them.
Right.
And I don't know. Would you have questions?
Love is really not really chocolates and
Flowers.
which it's kind of ironic because there's a particular holiday that is rolling around the corner.
Ah, that's right.
And we'll come back. I mean, which is a good time to kind of spin off to that. Are you a love and chocolates? I mean, are you a chocolate and do you do that on the love holiday of the February 14th?
We always make a big deal about Valentine's Day.
You do?
Yeah, but my bride says she'd rather get scratchies than flowers.
See? I love her.
She'd rather get
Chance
scratchies.
it
She'd rather get
is.
scratchies
For
than
real?
flowers. So yeah, so she gets scratchies. So what? But normally we plan something.
Do you?
And actually, I was supposed to be in Spain for Valentine's Day.
Okay, now you're just an overachiever. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but we had to cancel.
Most
a
people
trip.
just try to go to dinner or something.
We had the trip.
Your ass
the
is gonna
trip
be in
got
Spain.
canceled. The trip got canceled because something came up. So we're gonna head down. We'll be down at the
On the
beach.
island.
You'll be down on the island for the
Yeah.
holiday. But we had something planned. But it had to get canceled. I mean, everything was booked. But she wasn't upset at all. She's like, it's no problem. We'll just do something different later on.
So I am not a Valentine's
You don't believe in Valentine's Day?
I don't.
Not a romantic.
No, that's absolutely not true. I am very much a romantic.
So why not recognize that holiday?
Because in my opinion, your relationship should always be Valentine's Day. I don't think that there needs to be one particular day that you...
I understand that, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's a time to kind of go over the top.
I think that's
But
your
to each his
anniversary.
own. To each his own. To each his own.
Yeah.
Well, that too. You can do that too. But I think it's a time to kind of and I don't mean booking a reservation at a restaurant that's overcrowded and it's so busy.
Overcrowded, overpriced.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're just shoveling food out, and it's the masses. I mean, you don't get that individual service. There's not as much time spent on the food because they're just trying to deal with the volume, and so I don't think that's the right way to go. I think it should be more intimate and
110%.
and romantic, and you could do that anyway. There's a quote in the front of that book.
I'm going to talk to you about that in just a minute.
That first quote.
But
That first quote. Because since you talked about Valentine's Day, to me that sums up everything in relationships and love. Did you tab that, the first quote? No,
the second one.
that's right before love. You can talk about that, but
We are going to.
I can just tell you right now.
Tell me.
It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or live in a mansion or a tent. Love is the same. It's a great equalizer. Love
That's
is a great
before the love
equalizer.
and war portion.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a great equalizer. So it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're, you're a billionaire, wherever, or you're living in a mud hut, I don't know, in wherever in Texas. I mean, at that moment, if
At
you're
lost and found.
hang
Is
on,
that
it
what he
doesn't
meant?
matter if you're in love. If
No,
you're in
that's
love,
not good.
and you're in love.
That's a new
Hang
Braunfels.
on,
That's an inside
hang on.
New Braunfels joke.
Justin used to have a mud hut across from
Well,
the
I know.
boathouse
Yeah.
with
But
the
if you're,
hydro seed.
but if you're in love,
Now Piggy lives in it.
if you're in love, and also too at the moment of, if you're intimate with someone, at that moment you really don't know where you're at. I think when you're making love, can we talk about sex always sells anyway? But if you're making love and if you're into that moment, if two people are into that moment, I don't know. I'll speak for myself. I don't know where I'm at. I could be in a $50,000 bed in a $1 million a night hotel, or I could be in a mud hut in New Braunfels. At that moment, I have no idea where I'm at in space and time, and I think that goes with love too. I think it is the great equalizer, and I think that's why everybody searches for it and wants it, and it's so important, more important than anything.
In your opinion, how do you know when you found it?
Wow. How do I know? How do I know when I found love? Love. That's a tough definition. I knew how I found it, and
From love to war.
I felt I was in love. I mean, you ever hear that adage, head over heels? Mm-hmm. I actually felt like my heels were going over my head. Yeah.
So you really didn't know where you were.
No, I mean, I was in love. I was in love tremendously with my wife, now my wife, and with a woman, and I just knew it was right. So, I mean, I was just felt like that. I bought. Can I talk about this? It's real personal.
110%.
I don't think I've told anybody this. I bought, my engagement ring,
Yeah.
wedding ring, engagement ring, and I remember like I had it hidden in a closet, and I was doing my clinicals out in San Diego, and I would go in that closet and I'd pull that ring out and I'd look at it and put it back, and had it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Felt like I was burning a hole in it. Can I tell you about when I proposed?
Please.
This is really personal, but I tried. I flew back from San Diego. My wife was here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
In San Antonio. And I flew in to see her, and and this thing was burning a hole in my pocket. And I got to her apartment, and I got on one knee and proposed to her, and she laughed at me. She laughed at me.
How long did you have the ring before you proposed?
She
How long
laughed
was
at
it
me.
burning
She
that
laughed
hole?
at me. She took it, but she laughed at me, and I said, fine, go in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Because I just got
And
off
with
the plane.
lettuce and tomato and a little salt,
Anyway,
pepper.
so she
I don't want just the
she
ham and
laughed at me.
cheese.
She laughed at me, and then later on, I don't know if I should. And then later on, she sent me an email, and she was more serious. So I printed that email out and framed it because it sounds like I proposed over the internet, which of course wasn't true at all.
Right.
But yes, so that's the story right there. So
And you guys have been together.
25 years,
So beautiful. So if anybody could,
married for the right reason. And again, to get back to it,
what is that reason?
what Love is the great equalizer.
It is.
It is. It's a great equalizer. It makes everything equal, and it's worth going after. And the stories in that book, again, are not flowers and chocolate, and they're not anything what I just said.
But neither is a relationship.
No. Sometimes it is, though.
What makes it sometimes more than not?
Chemistry.
Yes.
And people get along. Trust. Understanding.
huge.
Trust, understanding.
Have you guys always been able to talk?
I don't want to, you sound like Dr. Phil. I don't want to talk about my relationship.
Look.
I don't want to talk about my
I love
relationship
me
at all.
some Phil.
You're gonna paint me in a corner and get me in like a lot of trouble, man. So,
I'm absolutely not.
No, you are.
I need
I don't wanna
help,
talk about my
Jungle. I
relationship.
need help in my relationship.
do you?
Of course.
I'll talk to you offline.
Yeah.
But not in front of the masses.
Come on.
Not in front of the masses.
25
I would
years
do.
and-
I would do anything for you, but I would not. No, not in front of the masses.
I
No,
just,
that's it. Did you get married for the right reason?
You
See
know,
how I answered your question with a question. Did you get married for the right reason?
I thought I did.
Okay. Right on.
I'm not a quitter. And that's the issue that I have.
Can I say something?
Please.
Not to interrupt, but I can say something.
Please.
You don't seem like the person that likes to fail at things.
No.
And having a failed marriage probably doesn't sit well with you at all.
It really doesn't at all.
Did that sting? I didn't want it to sting.
No.
I was just trying to be honest.
No,
You don't seem
and
like
I'm
the type
glad
of
you
person-
are. Because
you don't seem like
it's-
that person that likes to fail.
I do not like to fail. And I've said this before with different individuals that I've talked to on the show, is that I can promise you when I go up the ladder and when I fall off the ladder, I'll get back up, dust myself off, and I'll go back up it, but I will never fall down that ladder for the same reason.
Do you think marriage is the
Again.
worst thing you could fail at?
Oh no.
What's the worst thing you could fail at? What's the worst thing you could fail at?
You can fail at anything and
Business?
everything.
Business?
You
What?
just
What? Investments?
you can
What can you
fail
fail
at
at?
anything.
Yeah, but what's the worst thing you could fail at? Love? What's the worst thing you could fail at? The subject is love. Is love the worst thing you could fail at?
Not in my opinion.
Okay. No problem. What is the worst thing you could fail at?
Let me try to narrow that down in a short
You don't have to. It's
statement.
you're the host. It's your podcast. You don't have to answer that question.
No.
Plus, it's a free country. You don't have to answer that.
I have said several times that if I was to die tomorrow, that I feel like I have shared my lessons, my fuck ups, my failures, my stupid choices with kids younger than me, anybody and everybody that I can say, if you ever learn anything from me, if you ever listen to anything that I say, please just listen to this one thing. And because I wish somebody would have taken me when I was in your position and said, you know what, Tiffany, listen to me. I've been there. I've done that. This is something that don't follow in my own footsteps. And I feel like I would be okay with that. Like I would be okay passing away tomorrow. So to answer your question, what is the worst thing that you could fail at? In my opinion, it is to not teach and not share
Okay.
your experiences.
I thought you were going to
and
say
your-
war. I'm only joking. But I'm just a little
Just don't
levity.
fucking miss when you're aiming, bro.
Hey, just
I don't win every.
God
just
damn.
just a little. Hey,
Sometimes
come on. It was just
if
a little
that
levity.
target's moving,
Hey,
you-
it was just a little levity. It was a little levity. It was a little levity. It was
Look,
just a
now
little
you done
levity.
got me fired up.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, it was just a little levity. That's all. I think we needed
No,
it.
seriously.
Just
but
a little
yeah.
levity. Okay. I
do.
when you said that, I told God when I was 30 years old. I said, "Wow, I've lived like 5 lifetimes." And I go, if you want to take me now, it's okay. And I had that conversation with
Yeah.
God at 30. And
I'm
he-
not
and he-
ready.
And he let me stick around
I have
that much
so
longer.
much more
but
to
at
do.
30, I was ready to box.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this has been like awesome. And thank you so much. And if you want to take me now, it's okay. I understand because, friggin', you've really been like, just like shoveling it
Yeah.
at me. But okay.
No, I have a lot of things I still want to do. I have a lot of experiences. I have my first grandbaby, and she is the light of my life, and I have so much. I have so much to still live and learn and do.
Everybody does. And speaking of this book here,
Yes.
I address suicide in it, and there's 3 stories in there, and one is
So I want to touch base real quick before you get to that. So,
because there is a lot of life out there.
well, yes, there is.
Yes.
So, in the first book that you have, that was the white bread,
Not
And-
white bread.
right? And so that one is considered a.
What?
I don't know. I asked you the question. Is that considered? It's
It's
like
a memoir. It's a memoir.
Okay.
They're all stories about my life.
right. And so in this one, explain the difference between that for people that don't know and this new book. This is the second book. This is
it's a bouillabaisse. Some of it is
so.
about
This is
me.
a short story collection.
Some
so
of it
this
is about me. Some is directly about me, without a doubt. And then some of it is kind of a mix. And at the end of that book, and my editor said, "That's good you did that," because at the end I kind of talk about some of the stories and where they came from.
Okay.
And some of them is, this is why this came out. And then some are totally fiction.
So from Love to War is several short stories. That's why it's called a short story collection.
Well, more
And
than
that's-
7, but
Got it.
I think there's like
Several.
It's got to be 20 at least in there. So.
In here?
Yeah, it got to be at least.
Nice.
I can count if you want right now. But
No.
that'd be boring. Anyway, so yeah, so you have something tagged there, and I'll be honest with you. Since I walked in, I saw those little slips of paper sticking out, and it is eating at me. That what you decided to think that was like this discussion worthy,
Well,
and it's the love part, and of course it is. Valentine's Day is coming up, so what do you
Yeah.
have?
which we both have different opinions on that.
No,
which
it's
is
okay.
Totally fine.
No, it's okay. No, I everybody has their own opinion. I just got an email recently.
Yeah.
About one of the stories in the book, and someone described to me how it related to their life. And I was very flattered about that I actually touched somebody through one of my stories, and they sent a note and said, "Hey, I read your book, and then this happened to me, and I thought about that one story," and go, "Yeah."
So when people like Samantha
And it was in the love portion too.
or in the people that respond, how do they respond to you? I mean, is it? She obviously responded on the Amazon.
Yeah, it was a
link,
review.
right?
Yeah, it got
A
me a
review,
poor
okay.
review, but I mean, God
Hey.
bless her. She hit a home run. She knew exactly what she was
And then
talking
she was-
about.
yeah.
Because that's what it was.
So how the person that you were just talking about on this part,
Yes.
they emailed you or
My email's in the front of the book. If you have any,
so
if
I
you have
love
any issues
that
or whatever.
you actually. A lot of people don't think that you actually read the reviews or that
Yes, it
any
is.
author
It is.
actually reads the reviews.
And good, bad, and different. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and yes, of course, I read everything without
I
a
like
doubt.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's important that they know that
Well, okay.
that you do pay attention.
I do.
And that,
I do, and I hear their voice, Samantha.
There you go.
You hated my first book, but you understood it.
Right.
And I in that first book, I try to direct that more towards men, because men are a minority as far as readers go. And I thought that book might touch more men than women.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get them to read a little bit. They won't feel such like and the cover is very aggressive. Let's face it. It's red, and there's things on it. But so. And she
I like
should have
it.
understood that when she saw the cover, that it
Right,
was like, ooh, But yeah. So
mean-
and this was I think different. I think this was softer. I think there's something in there for everybody,
Right.
personally.
Right.
But okay.
So you have in here, it says, I want to make a trail with words.
Yeah.
A path no one has ever walked.
And your question?
Explain that. And then I'll tell you why this hits home with me.
My writing is my writing,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't try to mimic anyone. And I don't know, it's personal. There are, and I don't mean to lambaste like other writers. Some people follow a certain script to sell books,
Right.
and I'm not that way. That's it. So
So I
Like me or hate me, you know?
hence my card that you received in the mail. Yeah. So I started my little gypsy thing a very, very long time ago.
You look kind of gypsy tonight, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, we had a really long day and we had to rush and ran home and just kind of, but no.
You look
No,
kind of gypsy
Thank
tonight.
you. Thank you very much. But we,
I'm glad you thought that was flattering and not. It was meant to be.
yeah, it's the gypsy way. I mean, it is, that's my deal. But that's kind of how it all started. I had would go on the weekends and would put up my tent and go and sell and bounce from place to place to place and rodeo to rodeo to rodeo. And every one of my little businesses and whatever had gypsy in it and gypsy this and gypsy that. And I ran around in a motorhome all over the country and did that for a very long time. But anyways, I would always get asked and still do, who are you? And which just shocks the shit out of me because I'm just some little girl from New Braunfels, Texas. And it would be it just shocking to me that somebody would want to ask me like, who am I or why am I doing this or whatever. So I had a slogan that, or whatever you want to call this, a statement, so to speak.
Quote.
A quote. And mine is, leave a trail that every girl wants to follow. Run away with me.
Okay.
And it's very similar.
And you connected to that quote. Right on.
Which is really kind of wild because yours says, I want to make a trail with words. Mine says, leave a trail that every girl wants to follow.
I'm not gender
everyone
specific.
wants to follow.
I'm not gender specific.
Right. Well, on my bus, mine said, you can't nowadays. You can't be gender nothing, for fuck's sake.
No, that's over.
Yeah, thank God.
I understand that
Right.
that
But
ship sailed.
yeah, so mine is leave a trail that everyone wants to
on. Well, I'm
follow.
glad-
Run away with me.
Well, that's the whole idea with writing. You know, and again, I got a note
I don't
recently.
write. I can hardly even fucking spell.
Whatever. Anyway, and that's the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
I got a note recently about one of the stories in that book, where someone connected to it, and wrote something back to me, and you connected to a piece right in the front, the first page, and I'm glad, you know, and
Yeah.
and I know you somewhat, and we have that connection
Mm-hmm.
now, but I'm hoping there's somebody in wherever in Nowheresville, whatever state, and maybe opens the book and reads a short story or reads a piece of my work and somehow connects to it. Just like an artist. I mean, if you paint a picture and someone connects to that,
Right.
and feels something. So, I mean, thank you so much for telling me that too, man.
Well, I think what's kind of ironic in our conversation when you asked me what would be the one thing that you could fail at, I feel like you want to make a trail with words. I want to leave a trail that everyone can follow. And if I didn't leave my trail, then I would have failed.
Okay. The only thing I want, you want to hear what the only thing I want? I think when I die, and this is how much I respect your sex, if there's one woman that sheds one tear when I box, then my life was worth it.
Well, I've shedded it during our show. So yeah, you don't go anywhere.
That's it.
It's not time.
That's it.
It's not time.
That's it.
It's
That's
not
all
time.
that's all and I think my life would be worth it. One woman, one tear.
I like that. One woman, one tear.
Yeah.
Heartfelt emotions. Digging from way down deep.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Whatever.
So here's my second one.
Yeah.
You ready?
Like I said, that tore my guts out of me writing that book. But go ahead.
I love that you're so open and you were able to put all of this out there for everyone and to share. And How long did it take to put all these stories into this book?
I didn't time it. I wasn't on a clock. I was in the groove. First book came out, and I just was like, shh, let's kick the second one out.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this quote says, "We will all die.
Yeah.
That is how it ends.
Yep.
We are all born, and that is how it begins.
Yep.
The rest is magic and mayhem."
It's definitely in your life.
110%.
Without a doubt. In everybody's life. Hopefully.
So
Some people live a little more passive than others, but yeah, hopefully.
this takes me back to a conversation that you and I had, which
Hopefully it's more magic than mayhem.
you can always hope in one hand and shit in the other. But yeah, I'm always shooting for the hope.
You know what? You never know what to
Yeah,
Hey, you
for
never know
real.
what to expect when you're in
No.
when you're in the he she shed.
Yeah. Oh my God. I
shed.
never thought. That's it. We're burning her to the ground.
Pronoun shed.
Fuck. We did. We're probably going to just keep doing. Yeah. So, we
Wait, what?
do that. Okay. So this.
Cut to the chase.
We will all die, and that is how it ends.
Yeah.
We are all born,
Yeah.
and that is how it begins.
Yeah. True, right?
It is.
True dat.
Which takes me
DAT,
back to a
dat.
conversation
True
that
dat.
you and I had about you saying,
What?
when I am buried, I want to be buried naked.
Yeah.
He does. He wants to be
Oh,
buried.
you picked that out of the book, didn't you?
No.
You picked that out of the book,
When I
didn't
was
you?
reading this.
Oh, go ahead.
No, first I read all into this
Can
part.
I talk?
But-
There's a piece in there about my death. You just didn't find it, but go ahead and then I'll read it to you. I'll take the book and out of your hands and I will read it to you.
So, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Go ahead. Did I ruin the moment?
No. No, you didn't. I mean, no. I'm not going to let you. No.
You're the boss, applesauce.
So the rest is magic and mayhem.
Yeah.
So we got here. We end. So the rest is magic and mayhem.
Well,
is your
whatever you
dash.
make, whatever you make of it. Hopefully it is, and that's subjective too. But yeah, I mean, life is great. I mean, this planet is great. I mean, everything is. I mean, if you take a moment and think about creation, and why we're here, and how we got here. If you take that moment and think about the world, I mean, all the different fishes and animals and plants and in different continents and latitudes, longitudes, and you put that all together, and it's just a beautiful place, isn't it? It's a beautiful place.
Fabulous.
And it's what you make of it, what you do with it, and the
Right.
people like I said, you're really you cherish your relationships with people
Absolutely.
and how you treat them and such. And it's just, I mean, this is, I mean, I hope everybody takes a moment in their life, whenever that is. I don't care if they're 5 or 50 or 100 years old, and take a moment and just kind of think about how they got here. You know what I mean?
Right.
About life, about creation, about the world.
We're 300 years old, right?
500.
What did you say your target age was? 500?
500.
My target? No. I said, well, we should live to be.
Yes.
So we could see the fruits of our labor and what we've done or haven't done,
Yeah.
and reflect on it, maybe fix it or not fix it. Some people can't be fixed.
No.
Anyway, can I read you something out of this book since you brought it out?
110%.
And I can find it fairly quickly. I can't, and I want to tell you, afternoon La Floridita. Look, you're just there. What am I looking up? No, I know what I'm looking up. I'm looking up something with a coffin in it. There it is right there. You talk about my death before. As Kevin Dugan grew older, he occasionally thought about his own death and burial. He wondered about the place where he would become part of the earth. Kevin considered being buried in a cardboard box with no embalming. He would decompose quickly and in some way become helpful again. like an expensive fertilizer, food for the subterranean world. Utilitarian, not just taking up underground space in an impenetrable body vault. A road could be paved over his remains. Trucks and cars driving by would make sounds and vibrations with their steel-belted tires on the asphalt. The thought excited him more than grass and squirrels. Anyway, there's my death.
So the thought it excited him more than grass and squirrels.
Yeah. Yeah. Put me in the ground, cardboard box, no embalming, pave a road over me. I'm good. You'd like that too. Cars going over, vroom, vroom, big tractor trailer, vibrations, noise, wake you up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah. Better than grass and squirrels.
I can relate to that. Yeah. That's
Anyway, so there you go. And yeah, and I think I told you last time I want to be buried naked, but I came
You
into
did.
the world nude.
yeah.
I want to
to.
be, yeah, God
Right.
can have me back that way. You know? He doesn't, I don't need to be dressed.
No, I kind of agree.
I put a blessing on it, see me dripping in it 24/7 on it. I'm just being honest, holy water dripping from my neck to my crepe, so I'm two-stepping on it like